Beloved chosen one, listen carefully. You were not called out because you were weak. You were called out because what rests on your life could never survive the noise of the crowd. While others were invited into rooms, you were removed. While others were celebrated, you were sidelined. And for a long time, you asked the wrong question. You asked, why was I left out when heaven was asking, can you survive being called out? You are not here by accident. This moment is not random. This message did not find you because of an algorithm. This is alignment. This is divine interruption. This is the pause before acceleration. Think about your life practically. At work, you watched less qualified people get promoted while you stayed invisible. In your family, you were the responsible one, yet rarely acknowledged. Financially, you tried to be faithful, yet things felt delayed, stalled, or just barely enough. And quietly, in the middle of the night, a thought crept in. Did I miss something? Did God forget me? No, you were called out. When heaven calls someone out, it looks like rejection on the outside. But separation is not abandonment, it is preparation. God does not isolate you to punish you, He isolates you to protect the assignment. What He is building in you cannot be rushed, cannot be diluted, and cannot be shaped by applause. There were seasons you sat alone after work, scrolling on your phone, seeing others post milestones you were still praying for, engagements, new cars, business launches, vacations. Meanwhile, you were calculating bills, stretching groceries, holding faith together with discipline and silence. And yet, something in you refused to break. That is not coincidence. That is evidence. Let me ask you directly, if God promoted you too early, would it have destroyed you? There is a reason your path feels narrow. There is a reason shortcuts never worked for you. There is a reason every time you tried to blend in, your spirit felt restless. You were never designed for comfort first. You were designed for clarity. Even now you can feel it, a tension between where you are and what you know you were created for. That tension is holy. It is the stretching before strength. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 10. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Read that slowly, not hypothetically, not poetically, personally, because some of you experienced real abandonment, emotional distance from parents, a marriage that failed, a friendship that walked away when you needed them most, and the enemy whispered, "See, you are alone." But Scripture reveals something deeper when human covering falls away. Divine covering steps in. You were received when others walked out. Here is the everyday reality: God often removes familiar voices, so His voice can finally be heard. When everyone else leaves, the noise goes with them, and in that quiet instruction becomes clear. You are not behind. You are being aligned. Picture this: you are sitting at your desk, doing work that feels beneath your capacity. Your supervisor barely notices you. But behind the scenes, you are learning discipline, consistency, integrity. Those skills will carry you when visibility comes. Or imagine managing a tight budget right now, saying no to things others enjoy freely. That restraint is building stewardship. You are learning how to hold weight before weight is added. Do you see it yet nothing was wasted? Let me bring the tension lower for a moment. It's okay if you're tired. It's okay if faith feels quieter than it used to. Being chosen does not mean being emotionless. Even Elijah asked God to take his life. Even David cried out in confusion. The calling does not cancel the human experience. But here is the rise again. You are still standing, still searching, or still listening. That alone proves heaven is not done. You were called out so you wouldn't be corrupted by the crowd. You were hidden so you wouldn't be hardened too early. You were delayed so you wouldn't be destroyed by premature success. Now let me ask you one more direct question. What if this season of silence was actually proof that God trusts you? Because God does not trust fragile vessels with quiet. Silence requires maturity. Obscurity requires obedience without applause. And you have been doing it longer than you realize. This is why your spirit reacts when you hear words like destiny, calling, assignment. Something inside you says, this is familiar. That recognition is ancient. It was placed in you before time pressured you to forget it. Chosen one. If this message is speaking directly to your life, don't ignore that signal. Like the message, share it with someone who feels overlooked, and subscribe to stay connected because this is not a one-time awakening. It's a process. And now, at the end of this section, I want you to seal this moment with intention. Not out of superstition, but out of alignment. If you are ready to stop interpreting isolation as rejection and start recognizing it as selection, comment the number 77 below. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment you finally understand why the path looked the way it did. You are learning something most people never master: how to remain faithful when no one is watching. Not faithful when praised, not disciplined when rewarded, but steady, consistent, obedient when there is no applause, no recognition, and no visible outcome yet. This is the hidden school of the chosen, and it is where real authority is formed. This season feels ordinary on the surface. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, handle responsibilities. Repeat. Nothing dramatic, nothing viral. And yet, heaven is watching closely. Because what you do in private is shaping who you will be trusted with in public. Let's bring this into real life. At your job, you are tempted to do the bare minimum because no one seems to notice excellence anyway. The boss is absent. The system is flawed. Others cut corners and still get paid. Here is the practice: you choose integrity anyway. You finish the task fully when you arrive on time. You speak truth even when shortcuts would benefit you. Not because it gets applause, but because it builds internal authority. At home, maybe you live alone or with people who don't affirm you. No one sees how you keep things in order, how you manage your emotions, how you resist bitterness. This is training. Faithfulness without witnesses develops strength that visibility cannot give. Financially, you may be managing small numbers right now. Tight margins, careful budgeting, quiet sacrifices. Here is the discipline: track your spending, honor commitments, resist impulsive escapes. Steward what is in your hand, not what you wish was there. This is how capacity expands. There is a spiritual law at work that most ignore. God measures faithfulness differently than people do. Humans reward results. God rewards consistency. As the prophet wrote in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 10. Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Read that again, slowly. The Lord rejoices to see the work begin, not finish. Begin. That means God is pleased when you show up tired but honest. When you pray even when you feel nothing. When you choose discipline over drama. When you stay clean in a world that profits from compromise. Here is a practical rhythm you can adopt right now: simple, quiet, powerful. First, choose one daily responsibility and treat it as sacred. Just one. It could be your morning routine, your work output, your health, your prayer time. Do it at the same time every day, regardless of mood. This trains obedience beyond emotion. Second, remove the need to be seen. Do not announce progress. Do not post every step. Let growth happen privately. This starves pride and strengthens roots. Third, Complete what you start, even small tasks. Finish the email, clean the space, close the loop. Completion builds confidence at a cellular level. Fourth, guard your inner dialogue. When no one claps, the mind becomes loud. Replace self-accusation with truth. Speak alignment, not insult, over yourself. Now let's slow the pace for a moment. There will be days this feels pointless. Days you wonder if obedience matters at all. Days when doing the right thing feels like falling behind. That low moment is not failure, it is the test. This is where most people quit. This is where chosen ones are separated again. But here is the rise. Every quiet act of faithfulness is being recorded. Every unseen decision is shaping spiritual muscle. And when the moment of visibility comes, you will not panic because you were trained in stillness. Imagine this future scene and opportunity finally opens. A promotion, a platform, a responsibility bigger than you expected. Others will scramble. You will remain steady. Why? Because nothing about faithfulness will be new to you. You've already been practicing. Let me give you one more everyday picture. You are tempted to numb out at night, endless scrolling, distractions, avoidance. Instead, you choose rest with intention. You sleep on time. You read. You reflect. That choice looks small, but it is restoring clarity, energy, and emotional regulation. Tomorrow, you show up sharper. That is how momentum is built quietly. Here is the direct question you need to answer honestly. If no one ever thanked you for this season, would you still remain faithful? Because that question reveals readiness. God entrusts influence to those who do not require affirmation to obey. And you are being shaped into that kind of vessel. Do not rush this phase. Do not resent it. Do not minimize it. You are not being ignored. You are being strengthened. And one day, you will look back and realize this quiet discipline rewired you. You no longer panic when things are unclear. You no longer chase validation. You move with calm confidence because you learned to stand firm when nothing external confirmed your worth. This is how leaders are formed before they are revealed. Not in spotlight moments, but in ordinary days repeated faithfully. What feels like routine now is becoming your foundation. And when pressure comes later, it will not crush you, it will prove what was already built inside you. You have always felt it, that subtle distance between you and the world around you. Not superiority, not rejection. Difference. From the beginning, your reactions were different, your questions deeper, your conscience sharper. You noticed things others ignored. You felt discomfort where others felt normal. And many times you tried to mute that difference just to belong. But it never worked. You adjusted your tone, softened your truth, delayed your instincts, hoping connection would finally come. Instead, confusion grew, fatigue grew. Because the more you tried to blend in, the more disconnected you felt from yourself. That was not failure. That was your signal. You were marked different long before you understood why. Let's make this practical. In conversations at work, you sense when something is off: an unethical decision, a dishonest shortcut, a manipulation dressed as strategy. Others laugh it off. You feel it in your chest. In relationships, you pick up emotional shifts before words are spoken. In family dynamics, you see patterns no one wants to name. This isn't overthinking, it's discernment. And discernment is heavy when you don't know how to carry it. For a long time, being different felt like a burden. You asked yourself why life seemed easier for others. Why they could ignore consequences, why they could live loud without reflection. Meanwhile, you felt restrained, inward, constantly evaluating. That tension made you doubt yourself. But difference is not deficiency, it is design. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, the chapter 20, verse 5, the purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out. Deep waters, that's you. You don't skim the surface of life. You go inward. You reflect. You wrestle with meaning. And because of that, you were never meant for shallow environments. When you tried to live there, your soul suffocated. Here is where many chosen ones misunderstand their season. They think being different means being superior or broken. Neither is true. Being different means being assigned to a different function. A deep well does not compete with a shallow stream. It serves a different purpose. Think about your daily life again. You are the one people come to when things fall apart, when advice is needed, when clarity is required. Even if they don't always listen, they return. That is not accidental. You carry weight, and weight attracts pressure. Now let the pace drop for a moment. It hurts when you realize you cannot be fully known by everyone. It hurts when your depth is misunderstood as intensity, when your silence is mistaken for distance, when your boundaries are called pride. That pain is real. Do not deny it. But here is the lift. God often marks people different so they won't be absorbed by systems that would destroy their calling. Your discomfort saved you. Your sensitivity protected you. Your refusal to conform preserved your core. Here is a simple, practical shift you can make starting now. Stop explaining your depth to people committed to staying shallow. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Steward it, guard it, share it wisely. Another practice, trust your first discernment. You often talk yourself out of truth to avoid conflict. Stop. The quiet knowing you feel initially is usually accurate. Honor it. Let me ask you directly. What part of yourself have you been shrinking just to feel accepted? Because that part is not the problem. It is the clue. And now, this is where we rise again. Your difference will soon become your assignment. The clarity you carry will guide others. The restraint you learned will stabilize environments. The depth you embody will anchor people when things collapse. But before that happens, you must stop apologizing for who you are. Now comes the moment of response. If you recognize yourself in this, if you know, deep down, that you were never meant to blend in, I want you to comment this phrase below: I honor my design. That's it, 3 words. Here is why this matters. Writing it is not for the algorithm. It is an act of agreement. Agreement breaks inner resistance. Agreement tells your spirit you will no longer fight what God formed intentionally. When you honor your design, you stop leaking energy trying to be someone else. You are not late. You are not strange. You are not excessive. You are precise. And soon, the very thing that made you feel out of place will position you exactly where you belong. When you write that sentence, you are making a quiet declaration to yourself you will stop resisting the way you were formed. You are choosing cooperation over confusion. Honoring your design means you no longer measure yourself by standards that were never built for you. It is the decision to stand whole, not edited. That short comment also draws a boundary in the spirit. It tells your mind to stop negotiating with insecurity and stop shrinking to fit unsafe spaces. By agreeing with truth publicly, even in a small way, you anchor it internally. What you acknowledge with your words begins to shape how you walk forward. The story begins quietly, almost unimpressively. Gideon was not standing on a battlefield when heaven called him. He was hiding threshing wheat in a wine press, doing survival work, not heroic work. He was managing fear, scarcity, and responsibility all at once. And yet, this was the man heaven addressed as mighty, not because of what he looked like in the moment, but because of what pressure was forming inside him. Then came the part no one celebrates: the filtering. Thousands responded when the call was first sounded. Too many. God said the number itself was dangerous. Fear was exposed, and many were sent home. Still too many. Another test followed, smaller, subtler, almost strange. How they drank water determined who stayed. In the end, only 300 remained. Not the strongest, not the loudest, the most alert. This was not rejection, this was precision. And this is where your life quietly intersects with Gideon's story. There was a time when many people walked with you, shared goals, shared conversations, and shared dreams. But as pressure increased, the crowd thinned. Some grew afraid, some grew distracted, some simply could not tolerate the narrowing. You didn't force them out. The season did. In everyday life, this looks like being the only one still carrying responsibility when others step back. At work, you stay engaged while others mentally check out. In family, you hold stability while others avoid hard conversations. In your inner life, you reflect and self-correct while others numb and distract. This is the sifting. At some point, you notice the weight increased as the support decreased. Fewer people to lean on, less reassurance, more accountability. And a question surfaced quietly. Why am I still here? Let me ask you directly. Have you ever wondered why you're still standing when others walked away? That question does not visit everyone. It only visits those being prepared for responsibility. Here is what most people misunderstand: pressure is not always resistance from the enemy. Sometimes pressure is precision from God. Heaven reduces numbers not to weaken the mission, but to protect it. Too many voices dilute obedience. Too many opinions blur direction. The ancient words recorded in the book of Judges, chapter 7, verse 2. Make this unmistakably clear: you have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or Israel would boast against me. God was protecting dependence, protecting clarity, and protecting humility. And humility is not learned in abundance. It is learned in reduction. Slow down here. Let this settle. It is exhausting to be among the few. There are days you wish for more help, more affirmation, more shared weight. Days you are tired of being the one who doesn't quit, tired of being reliable, tired of being the strong one. That fatigue is real. It is not weakness to acknowledge it. But now lift your eyes. The same God who reduced the numbers also multiplied the impact. The victory did not come from strength, it came from alignment. Every person knew their position. Every movement had intention. Confusion had no room to survive. This is what is happening in your life. God is simplifying your environment not to make your life smaller, but to make it sharper. Distractions are being removed, motives clarified, relationships refined. What remains may feel sparse, but it is potent. Look at your daily reality. Your circle is smaller now, but conversations are deeper. Your goals are fewer, but clearer. Your schedule is quieter, but more intentional. That is not loss. That is focus. Here is a practical way to live this season. Well, stop mourning what was removed and start stewarding what remains. Treat your current responsibilities as sacred ground. Guard your energy. Protect your attention. Precision is built when excess is gone. Now the rise. The same pressure that filtered others out is shaping you into someone who can be trusted under fire. When opportunity comes, and it will, you will not freeze. You will not need constant affirmation. You will move with calm authority, because you were trained when no one was watching. Gideon did not win because he had numbers. He won because those who stayed were ready. and you are being made ready. If this message feels like a torch placed gently into your hands while the night is still thick, you don't have to announce it, just let the flame matter. Some journeys are marked by small acknowledgments, like pausing to warm your hands at a fire before continuing on. And if you know someone still standing under pressure, someone quietly being filtered by life, let this torch pass without noise. Not everyone needs a crowd, some just need direction. And if your spirit senses this is a fire worth returning to, staying near it is not commitment by force, but by recognition. You don't need the many. You need the aligned. You were not reduced because you were lacking. You were refined because you were essential. And just like Gideon, the moment you feared would expose your weakness will become the stage where quiet obedience releases undeniable victory. There comes a moment when the pressure you have endured begins to speak. Not loudly, not dramatically, but with a calm clarity that settles deep inside you. You start to understand that what felt like resistance was not random hardship. It was confirmation. Because nothing without purpose is pressed this precisely. This is where many people misunderstand their own lives. They assume difficulty means they chose the wrong path. But often, difficulty is the signal that you have finally chosen the right one. Look at your everyday reality. When you decided to become more disciplined, life didn't get easier. It became sharper. When you committed to emotional maturity, fewer people could meet you where you were. When you chose integrity at work, you felt friction instead of applause. Pressure followed alignment almost immediately. That is not coincidence. Pressure is attracted to purpose the way weight is attracted to gravity. You've noticed it in subtle ways. Conversations that once felt comfortable now feel hollow. Habits that used to soothe you now leave you restless. Even entertainment feels empty at times. This isn't boredom. It's growth outpacing old containers. There were moments you asked yourself whether you were doing too much, whether you should relax your standards, whether obedience was making life unnecessarily hard. But something in you refused to reverse. You adjusted your pace, but not your direction. That is why the pressure did not disappear. Let me ask you directly, what if the weight you are carrying is not meant to slow you down, but to stabilize you? As the Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Corinthians, chapter 16, verse 9, "Because a great door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many who oppose me. Opportunity and opposition arrive together. That is a pattern, not a problem. In your career, this looks like being trusted with more responsibility while receiving less support. In your finances, it looks like learning restraint before expansion. In relationships, it looks like standing alone in values that others compromise easily. These are not setbacks. These are confirmations that your life is moving from potential to substance. Now let the pace soften. There are days you feel tired of being intentional. Days when it would be easier to blend back in, lower your guard, stop caring so deeply. Those thoughts don't make you weak, they make you human. Even strong structures feel strain when weight is applied, but strain is not collapse. Here is a grounded truth you need in this season. Pressure demands simplification, not escape. When things feel heavy, the solution is not quitting, it is clarifying. You don't need to analyze everything at once. You simply need to become honest with yourself. Honest about what truly matters right now. Honest about what quietly drains your energy without giving anything back. Honest about what you are tolerating out of habit, fear, or loyalty to an old version of yourself. This kind of honesty is uncomfortable because it removes excuses, but it also restores power. When you simplify your focus, pressure loses its ability to confuse you. This is how pressure turns into progress. You begin to notice that your decisions become cleaner. Your boundaries become calmer. Your energy stops leaking into places that cannot carry your future. And slowly, the same weight that once felt overwhelming starts to feel grounding. That is formation. Many people want influence without compression. They want clarity without tension. They want purpose without pressure. But that combination does not exist. Strength that lasts is always formed under resistance. And you are lasting. One day, someone will ask how you became so steady, how you stopped reacting to chaos, how you learned to move forward without constant reassurance. They won't see the internal work. They won't see the quiet discipline. They won't see the nights you chose alignment over relief. But pressure saw it, and pressure shaped it. You were not crushed because you were not fragile. You were pressed because you were valuable. Valuable things are never left unrefined. Now, before this section closes, I want you to mark this moment with awareness. Not hype, not superstition, recognition. If you understand that the pressure in your life is not sent to break you, but to establish you, comment the number 818 below. 8 represents new levels of authority and maturity. 1 represents alignment and clarity. Writing this number is a way of acknowledging that you are no longer fighting the process. You are cooperating with it. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are being positioned. And the pressure you feel now will soon become the proof that you were built to carry more than you once believed. When you write that number, you are not asking for something to happen. You are acknowledging what is already happening inside you. It is a quiet agreement with growth, a signal that you recognize this season as construction, not punishment. Awareness like this stabilizes the mind and strengthens resolve. That small action also draws a line between your past reactions and your present maturity. It reminds you that pressure no longer controls your direction. You do. By naming the process, you stop resisting it. And when resistance ends, energy returns, clarity sharpens, and forward movement becomes natural again. There is a shift that happens quietly, almost without announcement. One day you realize you are no longer in survival mode. You are still moving carefully, still thoughtfully, but the panic is gone. The constant bracing for impact has softened. What replaces it is not comfort, but confidence, not arrogance, but authority. This is the moment you begin stepping into your crown. For a long time, your decisions were shaped by fear of loss, fear of being misunderstood, fear of making the wrong move, fear of disappointing others or yourself. That fear was not weakness. It was a response to prolonged pressure. But now, something has changed. You are no longer reacting. You are choosing, and that distinction matters more than you realize. In everyday life, this looks like clarity in small moments. You no longer over-explain your boundaries. You no longer chase conversations that drain you. You no longer feel guilty for choosing rest, focus, or solitude. You move with intention instead of urgency. This is authority taking root. Let's slow down and look at what authority really is. Authority is not volume. It is not control. It is not dominance. True authority is internal alignment, when your values, actions, and identity no longer argue with each other. People feel it. Rooms respond. Chaos quiets. You've seen it happen already. At work, you speak less but are heard more. Your presence carries weight because you are not trying to prove anything. In relationships, you no longer absorb emotional chaos. You listen, but you do not take on what isn't yours. In finances, you make decisions from clarity rather than impulse. This didn't happen overnight. It was built through obedience when no one applauded. restraint when indulgence was easier, and patience when delay felt unbearable. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 17. The fruit of righteousness will be peace. The effect of righteousness will be quietness and confidence forever. Quietness and confidence, not noise, not striving. That verse describes you more than you know. There is a maturity in you now that didn't exist before. You don't rush to defend yourself. You don't collapse under criticism. You don't inflate under praise. You remain steady. That steadiness is the crown forming. Let the pace drop for a moment. Stepping into authority can feel lonely at first. Not everyone recognizes the shift. Some people will try to relate to the older version of you. Others may feel unsettled by your calm. This is normal. When you change internally, external dynamics must adjust. Do not shrink to maintain familiarity. Here is a practical truth you need in this season. Authority is protected by boundaries. Without boundaries, authority leaks. With boundaries, it strengthens. This means saying no without guilt, choosing quality over quantity, allowing some relationships to evolve or end naturally. Not everything that walked with you in survival mode can walk with you in authority. This does not make you cold, it makes you wise. You are learning to respond instead of react. To listen fully without absorbing everything. To act decisively without drama. These are the marks of someone who has moved from being shaped by life to shaping it. Now let the rise come. The crown you are stepping into is not symbolic. It is functional. It represents responsibility, not privilege. It means you are now capable of carrying influence without being corrupted by it, of holding resources without being controlled by them, of leading without needing validation. That is rare. And because it is rare, it requires solitude at times, reflection, ongoing humility. Authority is not maintained by force, but by alignment. There will still be challenges ahead. This is not the end of resistance, but it is the end of confusion. You know who you are now, and that clarity cannot be shaken easily. Think about how far you've come. There was a time when uncertainty ruled your decisions, when every choice felt heavy with fear of consequences. Now, you move with discernment. You weigh things. You choose. You trust the process unfolding inside you. That trust is earned. You did not bypass the process, then you endured it. And because you did, your life is no longer being built on reaction, but on foundation. The crown does not announce itself, it settles. And once it does, everything you touch begins to reflect order, peace, and direction. This is not the peak. It is the posture required for what comes next. You no longer measure your worth by how much you endure, but by how wisely you carry responsibility. That shift changes everything. Decisions feel lighter because they are rooted in truth, not fear. You trust yourself now, and that trust becomes the ground beneath every step you take forward. From this place, your future stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like an invitation. You are not rushing toward it, nor are you hiding from it. You are prepared to meet it. And whatever unfolds next will not overwhelm you, because you are no longer becoming, you have become. You are standing in a place you once only imagined surviving, not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything inside you is settled. The silence that once felt heavy now feels intentional. The waiting that once drained you has refined you, and the distance that once wounded you has given you vision. This is where understanding no longer lives in your thoughts, but in your bones. You were never abandoned. Heaven was never absent. God was never late. What felt like silence was not neglect, but construction. What felt like delay was alignment unfolding at a pace your future could withstand. You were not overlooked. You were shielded until your strength caught up with your calling. Now, something about you is unmistakable. You move with steadiness instead of urgency. You listen without needing to interrupt. You no longer explain yourself to be understood. Your peace is no longer fragile. Even uncertainty no longer frightens you, because you trust who you have become. In ordinary life, this shows up quietly. You wake up without dread. You make decisions without spiraling. You rest without guilt. You speak with fewer words, yet greater weight. You are no longer chasing direction. You are walking in it. This is not arrogance, this is arrival. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Light does not compete. Light does not explain itself. Light does not force attention. It simply exists, and because it exists, everything else adjusts. You don't need to announce your calling anymore. Your consistency will speak. Your integrity will speak. Your calm presence will speak. Those meant to recognize you will do so without persuasion. Those unsettled by your clarity were never meant to stay close. Let the tone soften here. There will still be moments when you remember who you used to be. Moments when you feel tenderness toward the version of yourself that endured in silence. Honor that memory. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you compassionate. But do not return there. You were not shaped by pressure to remain small. You were shaped so that when the time came, you would stand visible without fear. And that time is no longer distant. It has already begun. Here is the final truth of this journey. Your calling was never about being elevated above others. It was about being positioned correctly. Influence is not volume, it is weight. And you carry weight now because you learned how to hold it without dropping yourself. Some people will feel encouraged in your presence without knowing why. Others will feel confronted by your peace. Both reactions are natural. Light does not create darkness. It reveals what already exists. Now let this image rest with you. If this message felt like a well you reached after a long journey, it's natural to leave a small stone beside it, quietly acknowledging that the water was good. Some travelers do this without words, simply honoring the place that restored them. And if you know someone still walking with an empty canteen, you don't need to carry them, just let them know where the well is. Paths shared this way remain pure. And if your spirit senses this is a place worth returning to. Not once, but again as seasons change. Remembering the way back is not obligation, but nourishment. Should a reflection rise in you, leave it behind like a carving on the stone, simple, honest, so the next weary soul knows they were not the first to find water here. You have walked far. You have endured quietly. You have become steadily. Now move forward without fear. What you carry is needed. Where you are going is prepared. And who you are has been refined with intention. You do not need to rush back into the world to prove anything. Let what has formed inside you settle fully. Strength that lasts is never loud at first. It stabilizes quietly, like roots deepening underground. When you move again, it will be from wholeness, not hunger, and that difference will be felt immediately. There will be moments ahead when old doubts try to revisit you, wearing familiar voices. You will recognize them now. They will sound smaller, less convincing. That is not because the doubts disappeared, but because your center strengthened. What once shook you will now simply pass through, leaving no mark behind. Pay attention to how your inner life responds to challenges now. You pause instead of panic. You reflect instead of react. You choose instead of flee. These are not small changes. They are evidence of maturity. Life will continue to test you. But tests no longer define you. They only reveal what has already been built. As you step forward, remember this: becoming was never the destination. Being is. Walk gently with yourself. Honor your limits. Trust the pace that fits your spirit. What unfolds next will not require striving, because you are aligned, and alignment carries you farther than force ever could. Before we part, let this ending remain open like a door left ajar, not to pull you anywhere, but to give you room to choose. If something in this message served you even quietly, you may feel the natural impulse to let it travel beyond you, not as promotion, not as proof, but as provision. Words that helped you breathe might help someone else stand. Sharing, in that sense, is simply passing along a cup of water you were offered yourself. And if you choose not to share it, that is just as valid. You don't owe this message anything. What matters more is what you keep. If there was a single line that settled you, keep it. If there was a moment that softened you, keep that. If something here named what you felt but never said, let it stay with you. You are allowed to take what nourishes you and leave the rest behind. This is not a message meant to convince. It is meant to accompany. You are not required to agree with everything, only to notice what resonated. Growth does not happen by force. It happens by recognition. As you move forward, life will keep speaking to you through many voices, many moments, many quiet realizations. Let discernment guide you. Return to what sharpens you. Release what drains you. Trust that your inner compass has been calibrated through everything you've endured. There is no dramatic conclusion here, because real transformation rarely announces itself. It continues unfolding after the words end. In how you breathe, how you choose, how you walk back into your ordinary life with a little more clarity than before. So if this message was useful, let it move freely. If it wasn't, let it fade gently. Either way, honor what stirred within you. The journey does not close here. It simply continues now, with you more aware than before.